Imagine thinking that this whole Ilhan Omar fiasco is about the Jews and the Palestinians and the, Israel and AIPAC and funding and blah blah blah. It isn't. Now they think it is. Ilhan Omar thinks it is, and I think the media thinks it is, and that's kind of the garnish around the dish. But what's really going on is that we're watching basically the civil war in the Democratic Party just erupt. It was a Cold War, and I'll explain why it's suddenly erupting. It had to happen with something, and if it wasn't this issue, where the progressives they're suddenly encountering identity politics problems being used against them, whereas generally they use identity politics in order to promote their agendas. You really aren't watching what's going on. You see, there is no common ground in terms of real intentions and goals between the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, with people like Pramila Jayapal and Bernie Sanders, and also to some extent you have, Ro Khanna definitely, Tulsi Gabbard, and the House leadership with Pelosi and Hoyer and a lot of the members of the CBC. Now, I would say that the central leadership of the Democratic Party, they don't really care necessarily about Israel or about Palestine, whatever. They are definitely there to serve, the people that best help them to stay elected and to, maintain their own comfortable lives. Okay? And the people on the far left, they also have people who are financing their comfortable lives who happen to be pushing an opposite agenda from the people in the center. So if it wasn't the Israel-Palestine issue, it would be the Medicare for All issue. If it wasn't the Medicare for All issue, it would be the GMO foods. I don't know. Let's pick another. What's another big progressive agenda? The Green New Deal. Okay, just this weekend, Pelosi basically she gets asked about it, and instead of actually like gushing about it, because she must have gotten some like rumors headed her way about what's in it, and she's like, oh crap, I can't believe I'm gonna have to talk about this. I can't believe it. So she pretended she didn't even know what his name was. She's like, oh, they have their Green New Dream or whatever. So these conflicts are what's really at the heart of this fight between Ilhan Omar and the Democratic leadership, and to some extent the rest of the political system. Obviously you don't see her having much in common with GOP colleagues. In fact, if you think about it, what the hell is the point of having Ilhan Omar in Congress anyway, if she's not going to be able to work on legislation that could possibly have some bipartisan backing, okay? Now, I'm not going to say, like, the Democrats could just pass bills in Congress that are of course, blanket progressive. That would be their prerogative. They do hold Congress. The issue is that once you get a bill passed the House, it can get just stonewalled in the Senate. So what's going on now? You have Mitch McConnell, Cocaine Mitch. I used to call him Bitch McConnell. Now I'm not a fan of his anymore, but I'm gonna stop calling him Bitch McConnell because he's doing some man moves right now. Because these are moves he's doing that I guess I don't really agree with a lot of his policies, but he's definitely showing that he knows how to twist the knife. So Mitch McConnell, Cocaine Mitch, has decided to put the Green New Deal up for a vote in the Senate to see who's going to go on the record on the Democratic side as supporting the Green New Deal. So essentially, it's like they're not going to be able to run from it. There's going to be nowhere to hide What are they going to do? These Democrats have dug themselves such a hole that where are they supposed to go now? Okay, they can't campaign in any of these states like Arkansas, or I'm talking about for the primary. I'm not even talking about for the general election. Imagine going to Arkansas and trying to campaign with these voters there and talking about stuff like the Green New Deal that they couldn't care less about it in a state like Arkansas. Go to a state like Indiana, which the Democrats might need in order to win. By the way, I believe Obama won Indiana in 2008. So imagine going to Indiana, which has rows and rows and rows of cornfields, and talking about ending the use of fossil fuels. Okay, in Indiana, that's not going to fly because what do you use corn for? Ethanol fuel. So, I mean, people are just out. What are they? Where are they supposed to go? What are they supposed to say? Nancy Pelosi is she dug herself into this. I don't know if it's entirely her fault. I mean, she doesn't nominate these people. She doesn't have these primaries orchestrated in her favor, and in fact, it's to some extent it's the fault of people like Ilhan Omar and people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez that they're stuck with Pelosi. Who were the people who decided to oppose Pelosi when her nomination for Speaker of the House went up back in I think it was November or December? It was centrist Democrats. It was some of these CIA Democrats that have just been elected from some of these swing districts in Michigan and Virginia and whatever. It wasn't Rashida Tlaib and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They had a chance at the time to raise a flag and say, hey, we're really going to change the party. It's time for us to take control. And they didn't. And at the time, I remember Ocasio-Cortez, I'll try to attach it in the description. At the time, Ocasio-Cortez said, well, the only people who are really challenging her leadership are people who are from the right wing. Well, you could have maybe moved the football a little, AOC. They're really eating their words right now. They're not going to get any sort of support from her, and she doesn't benefit from them. It's really such a comical situation. You can't help but hope that the show never ends. That's about it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Also, subscribe to me on BitChute and Cocoscope and all of the other social media in the description, and I'll talk to you guys later.